All right, guys, so welcome into the session, Friday, December 19th, 2025. I'm your host, Carlos Money Pies, and we're here to do a weekly recap, but I think we're gonna have some opportunity to trade, so we'll go ahead and see what's available. Welcome into the session, and as always, right, these calls are for educational purposes only. And let's go ahead and hide the video panels. When I hide the video panels and the camera is still on, do you guys see the camera? Like, do you guys see me? Because I know I hide on my end so I can hide on the YouTube recording of it. But do you guys see me right now? Like right now,
Yes.
you guys see me now?
Yes.
Really interested. I did not know that. See, because I don't see nobody because it's turned off from my point of view. Interested. Okay. Anyways, I guess that's good. But we'll go ahead and turn it off just so. All right, guys. So let's go ahead and review what's happening here with Goldilocks. During the live session today, it did get me, but I was able to recover it. But I'm not sure so much if everybody else was able to recover. But yeah, I had a buy, but then this little drop happened here, and it just didn't drop low enough for a break and retest. But I am in the buy towards 43.53, I believe. Let me just double check. That's right. I'll take profit at. Yes, 43.53 is that long. We're also establishing ourselves above that 20-minute drop base drop that I was speculating sales from, which we did get a nice drop from it from here, but then price found a way to recover. And I think everything definitely looks bullish today. The momentum's bullish, the structures and everything else is also bullish. I even think Gbo gave us a buy signal for a long. Let me just, yep, there it is. Okay, give us a nice little buy signal. There is a little update I had to make, guys. I just realized that it gave us a sell here when it shouldn't have. We'll review that one here shortly. Hopefully, Anna's here. I can answer her question that she asked on the Telegram group that we have. But if not, I'll share it here, and then from there I'll give her a proper explanation. But we're in long, guys. If you're inclined to buy this, we're in a decent time to buy. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. Peter. Any you guys buying right now, Pablo? Adentro.
Estoy esperándolo un poquito más abajo a ver si, a ver si baja.
A ver, ok, perfecto.
O que cierre alguna vela.
Sí, sí. Sorry, I'm just trying to make sure I save my template. All right, perfect. All right. So let's just read the S&T boxes first. All right, so again, this is exactly how the GBO signal works. The only difference, right, is that the GBO out is calculating everything for us. And again, we are slightly waiting for a pullback. If we get it here, maybe 43.37, that's a nice buy entry again. I'll put an alarm here just for us to continue buying maybe towards, what do we say? 43.53, okay? It's give or take. I still have it going higher. I think we could potentially go, if it really wants to move today, we could potentially go to the high, which is, I'll have it at 43.70 if it really wants to move up. Here, one, target two. Perfect. All right, so we actually, this is looking good, guys. Pulling back exactly where we wanted to pull back towards. Um, oh, perfect.
Estoy dentro.
Sí, perfecto, man. Sí, estamos en zona. We're in entry zone, guys. Okay, we're in entry zone to get in. But yeah, this. I mean, structure is bullish, momentum is bullish. The realignment is nice and fresh, right? It just realigned about six candlesticks, five candlesticks ago, so it's good. So any pullback that's near the 50% of the 17 is good. So this is a good first entry, 43.37, and the next entry is at 43.33. Okay. But yeah, it's a decent opportunity there that is worth taking. Um, and for the most part, let's see right here. Let me show you guys the process of this. Let me get in again. Hold on. It's just perfect. We got a 15-minute rally base rally right there as well, guys. Okay. Perfect. I'm in there again at the 15-minute rally base rally. I already had some entries above, but I'm in there again. Okay. Uh, so that's the approximate entry. And before I forget, guys, let me share this story with you guys. And believe it or not, it's today's session with the Spanish. I'm in right here, guys, for buys. Okay, buys. Um, a stop loss is a killer, guys. It's just I had buys today with during the Spanish session. Okay, but everybody always asking for where's the stop loss, and it's fine. It's a valid question. Okay, it's a valid question. Um, we were playing this 15-minute candlestick right here. Okay. We were gonna get in at 50% of that 50 minute of this 15-minute candlestick. To me, our stop loss should be managed, or our account should be managed based on our lot size and how many pips we have. So we were gonna use this, we were using this candlestick for entry at 50% with the stop loss obviously at the low. Okay. And let me actually draw a box like that. So from 50% to the low was a 50 pip stop loss. In gold, we're slightly allowing 80 to 90 to about 100 pips. Okay. So, and actually, because of the 5-minute chart, I suggested an entry right here at 50% of this candlestick. So our entry is actually a lot lower, lowering our pip count to 40 pips. So this is how the technical setup works. Okay. It looks good on paper, it looks good on risk management, etc. If I put the lot size that I always use, I'm only going to use half of it, right? I'm only going to use half of it. So it's going to be fine. but it just doesn't allow any wiggle room, right? Because like once the it's like something subconsciously is like once the setup fails, it communicates to us that we're wrong. Does that make sense? So in trading, everything's so unpredictable that you gotta allow some flexibility. If you're good with your lot sizes and your proper risk management and all that stuff, you can breathe. But if you rely on a technical setup and it fails, a lot of times you're like, I'm wrong. But if you're book, so in this scenario, guys, right? Normally, I don't suggest a stop loss. Normally, I say is okay, allow a few pips in drawdown. This one actually went as far as like almost about 11, which is kind of the borderline right there of the threshold. But again, if you would have entered with the pebble, this drawdown of this many pips won't affect you too much. You would have been able to get in again and again. And see, I did not play this during the Spanish session simply because I know they wanted a stop loss. And what happened? We ended up losing, and look where price is at right now. So my suggestion, guys, is definitely know your account balance. Definitely know what lot size you want to use. Get a lot size, and if your account grows, don't increase your lot size. If you have, let's say, for example, if you're putting in there 0.05 lots on this account size that's valid, okay, that can hold that lot size, and you're able to grow your account, let's say from 1,000 to 5,000. On the way up, guys, do not keep the same lot size all the way until you get to there. Why? And maybe I can get some participation from you guys. If you increase your lot size just because your account grew $100, and now the risk parameters say use a 0.6 and then use a 0.7 and then use a 0.8, et cetera, et cetera. What is happening to our accounts as our lot size increases? Can somebody tell me what's happening here?
You're losing money.
Say it again.
I guess if your lot size keep increasing, you're losing money.
That if your lot size keeps increasing, that means that the multiplication of the dollars increases as well, right? Based on what lot size you use. You increase the risk, Daniel, but you also increase the reward, right? So it's a double-edged thing, right? But here's the thing, guys. Our state of being as humans does not compound the same as money. Okay. When you put a lot size of 0.05, that is like, okay, you know what? I'm comfortable in profits here, and I'm comfortable in negative numbers at 8.05. All right. The moment you increase it to 0.06, right? The moment you would have put a 0.06, those numbers slightly increase on what you're used to. So my thing is get comfortable, learn how to win at a 0.05, get your account from 1,000 to 5,000 using the same lot size. Once you start getting comfortable, because again, it's about being comfortable in both sides, the negative and the positive. Sometimes we don't know what to do when we see those big numbers, dollar signs. Sometimes you're not used to being in drawdown $300 in 5 minutes in less than an hour. Like I don't even make that in my job, $300 an hour. So that's how we can find consistency, guys. Okay. Use one lot size, grow your account because we're used to the number here in positive and in negative. And then once you get to that $5,000 and that 0.05, the negative and the positive, like, oh, that's too, I'm already used to this. Let me go to the next level. Let me increase it to a 0.08 and see how that feels. See how much damage, how much chip of like, is it taking into my account? I'm used, that's good. Now let me tone it down to 0.06. Oh, you know what? Let me stay to 0.05. But again, though, we still have the possibility of multiplying our money. And again, though, it's not about putting the stop loss in. It's more about just I was bullish. I was biased in the buy. My bias was bullish, and the drawdown, even if it's to down here, wouldn't affect my account, right? It wouldn't affect it. Now, granted, that 23% line was down there as well, and I thought we had a nice little break and retest, but it wasn't enough on the 2-minute time frame. But yeah, I shouldn't have lost that trader here. I shouldn't have lost the traders there. But there it goes, guys. If you're in profit, we're looking good.
Man,
You in there, Mr. Don, Mr. Ron?
yes, sir. In the Spanish session, I was
Nice.
on there.
Nice. So for the most part, yeah, I always do set my take profits because again, it's me knowing myself. I sometimes want more, right? And if I don't put my take profit and it hits that area, I sometimes, again, that's back to my personality. It's like, I want more, I want more, I want more. Well, the stop loss and the take profit, they're both stop orders, right? Both of them are called the stop orders. It's a stop in a profit and a stop in a stop loss. But they're both stop orders. They basically tell you to get out of the market. Okay. So my take profits, they're always set, always. My drawdown, I've learned to control that and just put an end to it. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, so for example, Diana, like if I did get in, like I'll show you guys, I got in here, and the moment my stop loss got hit, right? I suggested to the class to get out. Okay. But if I was just staring at my phone and just realized that I was barely in drawdown, again, my stop loss is how much negative is in my account. Right. So let's say, for example, if I allow only a $500, let's say 500 to 575, I only allow this much of drawdown. Okay, every day. That's kind of my threshold. Okay, so when I first entered here, I was only down $100. Makes sense? Of with the lot size that I used. But the technical setup was this one. And when price got down here, I was only down $300. Well, I would have only been down $300. But because I put a stop loss, because the setup didn't work, it just kind of just like shakes you like, oh man, I'm wrong today. Right? But in reality, I was actually right. It just price wanted to go lower. How would I got this? How would I have known to get here? Sure, I can, I can back test. I can find something. Somebody mentioned that this was 50% of Asia, which is 100% correct. But we already kind of touched it one time there, another time there. It touched it a third time. What's going on? Right? Is it really going to touch it 3 times and go? In this scenario, it did. We're always going to find a reason for it. Like they say, right? Hindsight is 2020. We're always going to find a reason for it. But I was right looking at buys, but because you put a stop loss, you tell yourself you're wrong. And when you tell yourself you're wrong and you get stopped out, it's like we shut down and we don't find no more opportunity and we're done, right? So again, guys, the technical analysis, that's the first thing we learn in general. But even with all, and you heard the stories, there's people out there that know all the technical analysis and they still cannot win. In my opinion, is because we don't allow wiggle room. Okay, we don't allow wiggle room. And if you take, so look, this is what happened, guys. It's exactly what happened. I bought here and I lost. The moment we make this impulse to the downside on a 2-minute time frame, I let the pullback happen and I sold here. And again, I lost. But again, though, this loss, these two losses, about 350 bucks was my threshold between 500 and 7, whatever number I have there. That's my threshold. All right, well, you know, this is barely. I can still play. I put a target up here, and now let's see how much am I up. I am up currently $200. I still haven't recovered, but I'm using the skills, the opportunity that trading brings to be able to multiply my money. And by the time I get up here, I'll probably be up like 500 bucks today, which will clean that up. But if I find better opportunity here shortly, I may add some more positions on the way, try to make it $1,000 day if possible. That's my goal, about 1,000 bucks. 1,000 bucks a day. So there we are, guys. Yeah, we're at a point now, guys, where it's like we need to win. Okay, we need to win in trading. You got to find ways to win. The technical analysis, everything else is cute, but find a way to win, guys. And the best thing I can tell you guys is find a lot size that you like, use it consistently, and grow your account little by little, little by little. Give yourself a threshold of how much you want to lose per day. Oops. Now, every other book will tell you put a stop loss. I'll tell you, yeah, use your stop loss, but based on what your account, what you're willing to risk. And I think it's best to make it consistent on numbers wise and not entry to stop loss, because that'll kill us, guys. They'll kill your confidence. They'll tell you we're gonna be told that they were wrong more when you were right. You just put it, your stop loss was too tight. 43.53 is the target. Price is looking good here. Once in about this wick right here, in about 30 minutes, it'll get away from this low and it'll shrink the 17 box, pushing the equilibrium upwards, and I think we can go up. Yeah. I think that the 17 box needs to trend us to the top side. So anything that's coming back down to this equilibrium level, I mean, that's more opportunities to enter. Let's see. Yeah, and technically the entry for GBO is not until 43.29. Okay, 43.29. That's our entry port. So yeah, it kind of went up a little bit, but I think anywhere between let's see, 39. So I like 35. It's also a good area to enter to take us to 49. But let's quickly recap on how these boxes work. All right, so This is the phases that we're looking for. Okay, you have your, and this how the GBO gives signals. Okay, put that there so we won't lose track of it. So when GBO is looking for buys, even the S&T system by itself, okay, 204, 204, the flag will be at the bottom. Okay. Okay. So that means that the structure is bullish. All right. So it's only looking for buys. But it relies on the 17, right? The 17 needs to give us first a pullback. Okay. The 17 first needs to give us a pullback. And a pullback, this is not a pullback here. Okay. Just because the price drops, just because the price drops, it doesn't mean it's a pullback. A pullback is when the 17 box, the flag is up here. Okay, that's a pullback. Everybody got that? So then what's realignment? Realignment is when the 17 box, 204 is still bullish. Realignment is when the 17 box and the flag is down here. That is realignment. So this is pullback. And this is realignment, 17. Apologize, the chicken scratch. When it's in realignment, that means that the 17, the leading buyers are agreeing with the institutional buyers. Let's put it like that. The 204 is the institution, and the 17 is the retail buyers or us, or, the smaller crowd. When those are realigned, there's a high probability that we're going to continue trending upwards. Okay, so I'm going to quickly rewind this. And here, right, we had a fresh structure reset. Okay, because it was an bearish scenario, but now we came back a little bit. There you go. See, here it gave us orange because the 52 was also in a bearish structure. But it's still a pullback. Once it gets into a pullback, GBO or the next signal will be realignment. You add more candles. Okay, and there it goes. You see, you're realigned. Let's rewind it one more time. There it goes. So realignment, and there's a good here, Daniel. So see here, it technically won't realign, right? Until all these candlesticks expire. But if the current candlestick goes higher than that, like it did right here, the low comes first, then the high, and then we're in realignment. And that is how the signals work in the GBO. So see right now it's doing a pullback, waiting on realignment. The moment it realigns, there it goes. And then it's always looking for an entry at the 50% of the 17. Kind of like a buy limit style. But sometimes that's where the momentum comes in. Sometimes the momentum is too strong that it won't allow it to pull back all the way. In this scenario, it pumped up, hit TP1 too quick, but it did come back and retest the TP1 area and the 43.37, and there it goes on his way to 43.49.
So let me ask you a quick question.
Yes,
Okay,
sir, Mr. Ron.
if you once you get that signal, that original signal, do you get in on that entry there, or do you wait it for the next candle to confirm it?
So
If it's a buy.
when everything realigns, Mr. Ron, right?
Yes, sir.
Is signal identified, right? It's basically that.
Mhm.
Ideally, right? I there's about a 50-50 chance that it may not come back to the buy, the actual line, right? So 50-50 chance it may not come back to it. I've seen it. You can just back test a little bit and you can see yourself as well. So for me, let's go back to that exact same candlestick that gave the signal. I think it gave it to us on that first one. Yeah, it gave us a signal and technically hit TP at the same time. Okay. But so what I like to do, Mr. Ron, is if we can get a pullback halfway between the first TP1 and the entry, to me, that's fair game. So what I always want price to come back to give us a little pullback, always. And it's what we always do, right? Impulse, what comes after the impulse? Correction, right? Extension. So if this candle, here's the entry. The entry to the take profit one is the impulse, right? So at least we want a little retracement, at least halfway between the TP1 and the entry. That's solid. Now, ideally, we want it to come all the way down here, and then we go back in again. Okay. Did that answer your question, sir?
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
Perfect. And look what happened here. Here it actually surpassed the TP1, almost got to TP2, but it did come back slightly below the first entry, and it found support, and now it's turning around. So, and see, Indiana goes. That's why I just get in accept the drawdown. That's perfectly fine as well. And that's the best control we have, guys. That's the best control we have. Now, here's the thing, Indiana. So just so since you have access to this tool, I do like the entry mode at mid 17. That's my favorite one. However, we can adjust it and do the close. So if you adjust it to the close, let's do this. Adam where? No, he's not today. Okay, so here's TP1. Excuse me, here's the signal for the buy. Hit TP1. That's the reason why you see that there. But if you adjust the entry to the close, what does that mean? That the entry is going to give it to us at this candlestick closure. And there it goes, you see? But what happens? The stop loss is bigger. So at the mid 17, and nothing wrong with the bigger stop loss, guys. So at the entry of the mid 17, it's lower. It's a 99 pip risk. But if we change it to the close, it's 196 pip risk. But what does that tell us? That the TP1 is also giving you 196 pips in profit. So maybe you don't play the TP2, you just play the TP1. And there you go. So that's a different way to approach these signals. Okay. So closure means at the close. Open means at the actual candle open, which it didn't hit it. And then high and low mid is 50% of that signal candle. And based on the 50%, that was an Instagram entry. I thought of everything, guys, for this indicator, guys. I thought of everything. See, Jibo is nice. But Gbo has about 25% of my logic. I'm sharing only this here, guys. Don't pass it anywhere else. Gbo has 25% of my logic, but 0% of my personal touch and coding, right? Now that I learned how to code, it's like I know as much scenario as possible to give us a good indicator that we can understand as a consumer and not just a magic signal. Okay, I think that's one of the things that I'm talking to the team at COC Live is that Vivo is nice. It gets you in the door, it gives you parameters, etc. But the consumer, in my opinion, needs to understand what's happening because it's like the more that happens, I think it gives more validation to it. But yeah, I mean, my on this scenario, again, the entry was the high and low. High and low, 50% of the signal candle, that's an Instagram entry. It increased the pips up a little bit, but it's okay. Any other questions, comments? Go for it, guys. More than happy to assist. Yeah, but I did make a little adjustment here. Like for example, this signal should have never came on that cell because I'll show you guys what. So it gave us a sell signal here, but this one, there was some coding that happened that was not being interpreted properly. So you guys know the very basic logic of the signals, the realignment, the structure, and the realignment, right? That's kind of like the number one rule. Structure plus, let's do it like this. The 204 structure plus the 17 realignment. Everybody got that, right? Everybody got that so far. That's the first example that I gave with that box. Yeah, that's that. Now number two, number two is the momentum. And more specifically, the momentum of the 52. Where is the midline? Mid 52 versus mid 204. All right. Where is the midline? Where are the midlines in this scenario? Okay. So you see here, I don't have the line anymore. Let me put the box there. Just so we won't add too many extras. We already have enough lines, right, to deal with. So here's the midline of the 52. Here's the midline of 204. Everybody follow along? The 52 is above the 204. Okay, so based on that alone, that is bullish momentum. Okay, now this is neutral because the 108 is below. The 108 has nothing to do with Gbo. Okay, just FYI. The 108 is below the 204. The 52 is above the 204. That's the reason why the momentum is neutral. But Gbo has only the coding of 52, and that's on purpose. So we shouldn't have gotten a signal. Okay, we only get buy signals when the 17 realigns and the 52 momentum is above the 204. So I have to go back and fix that. And I want to go ahead and did that already before the trading session came. So if I add back the indicator, to my other computer, and it didn't change over here. But anyways, that signal, it should not have appeared. All right, guys. We hit the target. Did we win? Yes, sir. TP2 hit, guys. TP2 hit. Congratulations if you got it. Gibo gave us the signal here live. We gave you a second entry. ¿Cómo vas, Pablo? ¿Sí lo ganaste? Nice. Good stuff, Don. Good stuff. Oh, there goes TP hit, guys. I got my $500 in profit. And I still got 3 more positions running, and those are up about almost 300 bucks. So you see, I lost 350, gained 500, up whatever the difference is, and now up another 300 bucks. Perfect. Daniel. Nice. Let me share this with the community in Espanol because I told them we're going to get here. And I let them down on the first operations, and we're good. But good stuff, guys. 2026, guys. 2026 has to be our year, guys. Has to be our year. Okay. I created a system that's telling us one direction, and out of habit and out of certain things, I sometimes go against it. Deanna calls me out on that, and I'm perfectly fine being called out on that. But that's the reason why I created it, because subconsciously, Deanna, right? It's like I have a lot of knowledge that sees different things, and I needed something to filter that out, right? And I think I have it. That's the reason why those boxes exist. Now, sometimes those counters do work, et cetera, right? But and again, too, it's like there's also trusting AI, right? Trusting AI. You can't trust AI for everything until it actually respects your analysis more times than not, right? Like if you guys use ChatGPT, it's not always going to give you the exact answers you want. You have to go back in there and adjust it and so forth. Oh, sí, se ve bien, ¿verdad, Pablo? Se ve bien el Lamborghini en blanco. I think he looks good on me, guys.
Precioso.
¿Verdad? I've never been into cars. You nunca has estado mucho en los carros, sí, pero I've never been to cars. I'm not into cars or watches or anything like that, pero that Lamborghini on white and black, like my charts and can again, my original, was it you, Mr. Ron, or somebody else? My original candles are meant to be white and black. But I got a lot of complaints. Gee, I can't see those candles. Oh, it was somebody from Elevate. It was the football player. Gee, I cannot see your white and black candlesticks. And then from there, kind of like subconsciously, like, all right, I got you guys. So blue and white. One second, I'm just sending this one message. Let's see. So what's a good entry to take to TP2? Oh, that's if you changed it up, right? That's if you changed the other one. I think it hit TP2. It hit TP2 for the entry at the midline. Okay, the entry at the midline. I think we will go higher, Joe. I actually would like us to go to the 43.7. What do I have? Take profit. 43.73. Yeah, just below these highs. Okay, I mean that's a stretch, but everything is still bullish, guys. Everything is still definitely bullish. Let's see. Let me have problems. No, but I'm gonna put a button, guys, so we can hide old signals. They do get in the way. For that. And good observation there, Diana, too. Yeah, this thing will increase. Let's see the 15. Let's see how the hour closed. If we can, Joe, if we can get to about 23%, Joe, of that 9 a.m. candlestick, we share the same central time. That's not a bad area to consider an entry. Okay. 23% of the 9 o'clock candlestick. Central time. Okay, central time. All right, guys. Well, good, excellent trading. I appreciate you guys being here. Great session. I do gotta go. And that Lambo looks really nice, Pablo.
Hey, you gonna be here next week? What's your schedule
Yeah,
like?
so we're here Sunday. We're here Sunday for sure. Okay, we're here Sunday for sure. And I'll confirm that evening, latest that evening, to see how that works. Okay. I may be like active on the computer. I may be active in the computer just to kind of monitoring stuff, but I would like to take a break from the live sessions, and we'll see if
You want to count that money? I understand.
yeah, we'll always be in the charts, and I always will share actively on the chats for sure, for sure. But the next week is the Christmas week. Marketing is going to slow down. I think this is the next 3 weeks. Market will be slow. Christmas week, the week after, and the first week of January is kind of the slowest. I do like to be in the charts, but I prefer kind of just to be on them, monitoring them, study them, and then just kind of share my input with you guys afterwards. But guys, I'll update everybody properly on Sunday. Thank you guys for the support. Good win if you got it. If not, look for that candlestick. We'll see you guys. Bye now.
Just upload this one as soon as you could.
Yes, sir. And keep following up on Mr. Ron. I'm doing those for you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Appreciate you, man.
Mm-hmm.